My name is Laura, and I live in Vermont in the United States. I am a natural dreamwork practitioner, and also my spiritual practice is an animist practice called Druidry, which is a Celtic indigenous practice that is earth-based, nature-based. I will say I love there's so many things that have been said already that so resonate for me as it relates to dream work. I am teaching in the EXP program. I have been, I think, since its inception, actually, and um, and I'll be teaching an expanded module of that starting in July of this year, and I'm really excited about it. The goal is to get more folks working, bringing dreams into their healing practices and hopefully making this work more accessible for Indian practitioners to be providing services to Indian clients. I thought, as you were commenting, Brenda, I was thinking, one way to talk about, to introduce what I do is this idea of privileging experience over thought process. And, this is the classic split, right? We think of it as the patriarchal split, the split between logos and eros, or mind sort of over matter, transcendence in terms of thought being somehow valued, or rationality being valued over the intuitive wisdom. An image that came in a client's work, somebody who I do have permission to talk about their work a little bit, was a very simple one. And I thought by describing this, it offers a little bit of an introduction to me and my own work. I didn't come to this work, or the work with dreams, because I had a desire necessarily to follow dreams. I came to it through the crucible of my own personal work and the dreams that were coming to me at a time in my life where I needed a lot of help. And I pursued that. I sort of followed the synchronicities, and there was just some part of me that was ready. And I think we can all recognize that in ourselves. But the simple image of the pink rose. So this is something that came to a client, was offered to her by a little girl in a dream, just held up to her, the pink rose. Now we can think of the pink rose. We could contemplate the symbolism of the pink rose. We could think about, well, what is the rose? What does pink mean? What does it mean to smell the rose? What is it? What is the symbolism of the thorns, for example? We could think about all these things and probably go online and research, what does a pink rose mean? And we could come up with all kinds of understandings. And some of those understandings are actually important and helpful to us. But the work, when the dream comes, this is an intelligence that is greater, that is coming from a greater source, a universal source. One of my teachers, Toko Paterno, talks about the mycelium network and how, we're tapping into that collective, but it's really a mycelium that is global. But our work is really to become the pink rose, so we can receive the image of the dream. And if we were to close our eyes and feel the delicateness of our petals, the blush of pink on our skin, if we were to feel the strength of the shaft of the rose, and to really feel the thorns, understand how those thorns are protecting us, how they are helping us with our boundaries. What is it like to feel the fragrance of our own pink rose, and to feel our place on the rose bush with the other pink roses? We bring in this idea of community, I think, is really important. But when we close our eyes, and we enter into this space, we are now connecting with a resonance within ourself we are now allowing the sensuality of the rose maybe to arise in us a little bit and to really feel what it means to receive the pink rose. So a lot of this work, the work that we're doing is it's dream work is so connected to the feminine because it's all about receiving. And we're receiving these images from a much higher source, or we could even say maybe our higher self. Um, I could say a lot more, and we'll talk more about these topics. And I so love this. And again, I also want to reiterate this work is not just for women, the idea that the feminine, this is a work that needs to happen because it's what's missing. And so we all have a part to play in that. And when we choose to do our work, when we choose to step into and receive and allow what is there to heal the wounds that we carry, the wounds of responsibility, the wounds of caretaking, the wounds, which are these, I'm speaking of the woundedness of maybe the feminine. I came to this work and I would not have said this work was about, or my work was about connecting to the feminine per se. I was very over identified with the masculine qualities of productivity and responsibility and action and thought processes. And so here we are. I'm excited to be talking about this topic. I'm excited to feel into it more. And my hope is that many of you will be excited to explore it more as well and join us for the EXP program or for the Natural Dreamwork module, which will be coming up in July.